They could even appropriate a little bit, not just spoof things. Critics pointed out that one of the main lines of the plot, the idea of a young girl who agrees to marry sight unseen a prisoner who's about to die, is in fact a theme in an earlier English opera by William Wallace, Maritana. And I'm sure Gilbert was aware of what he was doing when he appropriated and made it a much better plot in itself. He talked of Yeomen as a new leaf. They'd gone through a series of ups and downs, and their collaboration, of course, was always bumpy and uneven. Sullivan chafed a good bit. His health was bad. He wanted to go on and accomplish grander things, always felt that these were frivolities, these operettas he was writing. And he and Gilbert certainly stressed the idea they were going to go on to a higher level and with new dimensions. Well, you can see and appreciate those new dimensions in Yeomen. Just consider some of the characters. All too often we think of Gilbert and Sullivan characters as the sort of stock situation, the rather empty-headed tenor, the silly soprano, the two that are in love, there's the love-starved contralto, there's a baritone or two, there's the funny little man who sings the patter songs. Of course, that's basic. Usually the patter song man gets the love-starved contralto at the end. And there are certain stereotypes. Anna Russell did once a skit on how to write your own Gilbert and Sullivan operetta. It's essentially based on Pinafore, which has the most simplistic of all of the Gilbert and Sullivan plots. Well, just consider you do have a tenor, and he's a very interesting character. He is heroic, but he's also capable of finagling and manipulation and soliloquizing as well. We have not one, but two romantic sopranos. The part of Phoebe was written for Jessie Bond, who was one of the favorite singers of the Savoy Company. And she's, what? A love-starved soprano. We have a love-starved contralto, Dame Carruthers, so we've got a full complement of the normal. But we've got two love-starved characters. Who's going to get somebody at the end? Well, that's an interesting working out of the plot, too. We have a dark comic character, Wilfred Shadbolt, the assistant jailer and chief tormentor. He's a nasty fellow. He imagines he's got a sense of humor, can even be a jester if he tries. He's the closest predecessor he has is Dick Deadeye in Pinafore, who's really just a minor player. But Shadbolt is a grim presence, and he gets the love-starved soprano at the end, and you might feel just a little unhappy for her over that. You also have the patter song man. Who is the patter song man? Jack Point. Jack Point not only doesn't get anybody at the end, he loses the other soprano, but he's obliterated. The last stage instruction is that he falls insensible at the end, and that's usually construed to mean he drops dead. That's not what patter singers usually end up with in Gilbert and Sullivan casts. It's a much more serious elaboration on the kinds of character types that can be had. There can also be, even for the main characters, a degree of introspection and thoughtfulness that's quite remarkable. For example, consider Fairfax, the tenor, who in the first act is, of course, condemned to death unfairly. He's about to be beheaded, and we first meet him in prison, in his dungeon, where he's soliloquizing. And this is all but an opera aria in the best sense. It isn't just a funny song. He contemplates life. Here's a man facing death. And what does a man facing death think about life? Is life a boon? If so, it must befall that death, whene'er he must call too soon. Though 80 years he give, yet one would pray to live another moon. What kind of plaint have I, who perish in July? I might have had to die perchance in June. Is life a thorn? Then count it not a whit. Man is well done with it. Soon as he's born, he should all means essay to put the plague away. And I, war-worn, poor captured fugitive, my life most gladly give. I might have had to live another morn. Think about that. Every once in a while, Gilbert comes up with some lyrics that really make you stop and think, this isn't just funny music. This is real reflection and thoughtfulness. What is it like to face death and consider what life is all about?